Hi, I'm Min Yi. After working full-time for the past 7 years, I decided to give up a monthly paycheck for the next 1 year. Why and how? Today is day 100 and I've decided to make a video to explain my thinking and approach based on questions I received on Instagram. This could be useful for you if you're exploring your own career break or if you're just interested in a 30-something-year-old giving up on her career trajectory. Before we begin, there's two things I should say. First, there are many Singaporeans, many adults around the world who have similarly paused their careers to pursue other life goals. Second, if there's just one thing I'd like you to take away, it's this. Our lives are more customizable than we think. Don't be pressured into adopting societal aspirations and standards that do not resonate with your soul. Be brave, decide what really matters to you, and then pursue it. Live life for yourself.
Here are all your questions. You can pause here and also turn on the subtitles. Worries and what you hope to achieve.
In terms of worries, I worry that I will fritter time in frivolous ways, like sleeping late and waking late. I worry that I will look back on this free time and fret that I didn't make even more use out of it because of laziness or inertia. I'm not worried about financials, and I'll explain why in the second half of this video. In fact, the whole point of this 1 year off is precisely to spend money in meaningful and fruitful ways.
What are your goals during the sabbatical?
I always told people that I had two broad goals. The first is to do fun things that you can't easily do when you have a full-time office job. I basically now have unlimited leave to do whatever I want. The world is my oyster within my financial means. Second, to reflect, explore, and prepare for the next stage of my working life. This includes figuring out and committing to what I really want to do with my skills and strengths.
How did your family take the decision?
I don't recall any huge reaction from my parents or my two younger sisters. Honestly, in general, my parents let me pursue what I want, and they've never pressured us to be some certain way or achieve certain things.
Work isn't the life I want. How does one grapple with this?
When I was much younger, someone explained this philosophy to me. Work is simply doing what you need to do so you can then do what you want to do. But if your work life is contributing to you living a life that is not aligned with what you really want, it sounds like you would be more content overall if you had a different job. Life is not that long and it slips away faster than we realize. Don't spend any longer than you absolutely need living unhappily. If you know you definitely want out of something, the sooner you get out, the better. Okay, I know everything is always easier said than done, but if what you need is to get an orange peel, then you just have to peel the orange. Then, the only question is figuring out how. Two last quick questions before we dive into a long one about money.
What will you do when you eventually get back to work?
I'm taking this sabbatical in between work postings, so it's not like my company is saving a specific seat for me to return to, unlike what they would do for someone who's on paternity, maternity, or hospital leave. When my no-pay leave is over, I'll rejoin the game of musical chairs and I'll see what postings are open.
How did you discuss the sabbatical with your workplace?
My workplace is quite progressive and they generally do not lack manpower. My work is also not super niche or specific, and I'm certainly not indispensable. The reasons I gave were broad for mental and physical well-being. Okay, Singaporeans are a practical bunch and I received the most number of questions on money. I'll also save a question on budgeting for the end of this video because it's just a number and it's different for everyone. Why did I choose to do a sabbatical now? This is something I've never talked about on social media, but my company sponsored my overseas undergraduate and postgraduate degrees. In exchange, I had a bond of 6 years and that bond is now complete. So after 7 years of working, I thought to myself, this is the best time to take a break. Because if not now, then when? In terms of financial preparation, I'll be very honest. Yes, it might be scary to say goodbye to a reliable monthly paycheck, but I did not do any dramatic new action to prepare for this sabbatical. That's because I have sufficient savings, I live within my means, and I don't have any significant liabilities. For example, I'm not saving up for my children's education because I don't have any and I don't think I will have any. I'm not paying off a mortgage because I'm still living in my childhood home with parents who are still working and very healthy. There are two other reasons why a sabbatical might cost less than you think. First, who says a sabbatical means flying first class every weekend? Yes, in our modern economy, you need to have money in order to do things. And yes, more money means more options. But you can always choose to only do things that you can comfortably afford. Second, who says a sabbatical is only a drain on resources and not a time for multiplying opportunities? I had a few thoughts about this. One, I was betting that the lack of a paycheck would light a fire under my ass and motivate me to discover and create lucrative opportunities. 2. I was also hoping that this sabbatical would be a window of time for me to develop my relative strengths and really see if I can sustainably make an income from them. Finally, in terms of mental preparation, there's not much mental preparation needed. Maybe if you've defined your identity as your work, then not having work could be weird. But since I don't do that, I only feel like I'm gaining freedom and time. The lack of routine is freeing, not scary.
What's the impact on your retirement planning?
Yes, this could definitely impact my retirement planning, but guess what? If and when I capitalize on this time and change my life for the better, it can also positively affect my retirement plans. On a slightly different note, what are we accumulating money for? Many things can happen between now and retirement age. One thing is quite certain, I will have less energy then compared to now.
How do you prioritize meaningful engagement versus just chilling out?
I think we're more prone to doom scrolling when we're tired and depleted from work and have no energy left for anything besides unproductive, junk foody type of activities like doom scrolling. Once you replenish your energy, make sure you're clear about what meaningful activities you want to commit to. This should make it easier for you to spend your days with purpose and intention.
How do you prioritize between a bunch of good ideas?
In terms of scheduling my time and prioritizing activities, I don't think I have an especially good method. There are some things that come with a natural deadline or need to follow other people's deadlines. For all other projects that I can schedule freely, I do my best to do them ASAP and not drag my feet.
What are your tips for trips planning, from balancing cost against comfort?
My general tips: number 1, do more research rather than less. For example, if you know that a certain museum has a free day on Wednesdays from 1 to 4 p.m., then you can plan your trip on that day. 2, avoid tourist experiences that are all gimmicks and no substance. These usually cost a premium and for quite an empty experience. Number 3, travel within your budget. When I was backpacking, the only souvenirs I would get are postcards and stamps. The bonus is that these are pretty lightweight. Number 4, if comfort is important to you, then be prepared to pay for it and budget accordingly.
What goals do you have for your career?
In terms of work-related goals, I want to continuously develop what I'm good at and enjoy, and then find a place or places where my skills can bring value, and ideally get paid good money so that I don't have to think about money. I'll just say one more thing. A pastry chef working in a dim sum restaurant might not want to climb the career ladder of the dim sum restaurant because they don't actually want to spend the next 10 or 20 years in the dim sum restaurant. Maybe I'm the pastry chef in this situation.
How much did you budget, and financials please?
In terms of funding, I have at least enough liquid savings to pay myself for the next 10 months of my salary. So I was more than happy to take this plunge and pay myself. I don't generally set a budget for myself. My thought process isn't, okay, I will set aside 3K for this trip. What I do instead is ask myself whenever I need to exchange money for things, do I really need this? What is the ROI? Is this an investment in myself? And is this the best price that I can get this for? Money is an important tool, and I'll do my best to invest it in experiences and enrichment and memories that will matter. Thanks again for your questions. Let me know if you have thoughts to share in the comments, and leave a like and follow if you can, as this will really help the channel.